Thank you for watching this presentation from the Littleton Public Schools and the Fine Arts Boosters of Littleton. While the stage at our Performing Arts Center has been silent, we've still been working behind the scenes to give our students ways to continue to showcase their talent, such as the show you are watching, while we also get ready for a hopeful return to the auditorium for our live shows later this year. With recent big productions such as Hello, Dolly, Annie, Legally Blonde, and more, and making sure the instruments are in working order for the band concerts, these productions have significant costs, and the Fine Arts Boosters of Littleton is here to provide the additional funds necessary to make them the best they can be. We can't do that without your help. Your donations go directly towards supporting the music and drama programs to pay for the rights to productions, instrument repairs, costuming, sets, and more. And we are always looking to support more programs in the arts. So if you're interested in forming a group to fundraise for the arts in our public schools, or want to volunteer to help with the existing programs, or to make a donation, get in touch with us via email at info@littletonfable.org. That is info@littletonfabl.org, or visit us at our webpage at littletonfable.org. Again, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in person soon.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean.
From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows do with their death bury their parents' strife.
The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children end not could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage.
The which if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
I strike quickly, being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
A dog of the house of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runst away.
A dog of that house will move me to stand. I'll take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's.
The quarrel is between our masters and us, their men. Draw thy tool, here comes two of the house of Montague.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Fear me not.
Oh, Mary, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of their sides. Let them begin.
I will frown at them as I walk by and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare. I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law on our side if I say aye?
No.
No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I do bite my thumb, sir. Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
If you do, sir, then I'm for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Well, sir? Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen. Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Draw, if you be men. Gregory, remember thy swashing blow.
Part, fools! Put up your swords. You know not what you do.
What art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio. Look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me.
What, drawn and speak of peace? I hate the words. I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward.
What noise is this? Hand me my long sword, ho!
A crutch! A crutch! Why call you for a sword?
My sword, I say! Old Montague has come, and he flourishes his blade to spite me.
Thou villain Capulet, hold me not, let me go.
Thou shalt not stir a foot to seek a foe.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to the peace. Will they not hear? What ho, you men, you beasts, that quench the fire of your pernicious rage, with purple fountains issuing from your veins. Throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls have bred an airy word, by thee, old Capulet, and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiets of our streets. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me. And Montague, come you this afternoon. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Who set this ancient quarrel new abroad? Speak, nephew, were you by when it began?
I drew to part them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared. He swung about his head and cut the winds, till the prince came, who parted either part.
Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today?
Right glad I am he was not at this fray. Ma'am, underneath the grove of sycamore, so early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was aware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood. I, measuring his affections by my own, pursued my humor, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned who gladly fled from me.
Many a morning hath he there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning dew, adding to clouds more clouds with his deep sighs. Should we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would willingly give cure as know.
See where he comes. So please you, step aside. I'll know his grievance, or be much denied.
Thou art so happy by thy stay, to hear true shrift. Come, madam, let's away.
Good morrow, cousin.
Is the day so young?
But new struck 9.
Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours.
Not having that, which having makes them short.
In love,
Out.
of love.
Out of her favor, where I am in love.
Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love, whose views muffled still, should without eyes see pathways to his will. Dost thou not laugh?
No, cuz I rather weep
Good heart, at what?
at thy good heart's oppression.
Why, such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed. With more of thine, this love that thou hast shown, doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke raised with the fume of sighs, being purged a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed a sea nourished with lovers' tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my coz.
Soft, I will go along, but if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
Tut, I have lost myself, I am not here. This is not Romeo, he is some otherwhere.
Tell me, in sadness, who is it that you love?
In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aimed so near when I supposed you loved.
A right good mark, man, and she's fair I love.
A right fair mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit.
Well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's bow. She hath Dian's wit, and in strong proof of chastity well armed. From love's weak childish bow she lives uncharmed. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor, that when she dies, with beauty dies her store.
Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste?
She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste. For beauty starved with her severity, cuts beauty off from all posterity. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to call hers exquisite and question more. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell. Thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine, or else die in debt.
But Montague is as bound as I, and punishment alike. 'Tis not hard, I think, for men as old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But, saying o'er what I've said before, my child is yet a stranger in this world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her right to be a bride.
Younger than she, our happy mother's maid.
Too soon marred are those so early made. But woo her, gentle Paris. Get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agree within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love. You amongst the store, one most welcome, makes my number more. At my poor house look to behold this night earth-treading stars that my dark heaven light, and like her most whose merit most shall be, come, go with me. Go, sirrah. Trudge about through fair Verona and find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house, and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Find them out whose names are written here? It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with its yard, the tailor with its last, the fisher with its pencil, and the painter with its nets. But I am sent to find whose names are writ, but can never find the writing persons hath here writ. I must to the learn, in good time.
Tut, man, one fire burns out another's burning, one pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy, and be holp by backward turning. One desperate grief cures with another's languish. Take thou some new infection to thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
Good evening, sir. I pray, can you read?
Aye, mine own fortune and my misery.
But, I pray, can you read anything that you see?
Aye, if I know the letters and the language.
You say honestly, rest you merry.
Stay, fellow, I can read. Signor Martino and his wife and daughter, County Anselm and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vitrevio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline, Livia, Signor Valencio and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio, and the lively Helena. A fair assembly, whither should they come?
Up.
Whither? To supper?
To our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
Now I shall tell you without asking. My master is the great rich Capulet, and if you be not a Hesse Montagues, I pray, come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
At the same ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so lovest. With all the admired beauties of Verona, go thither, and, with unattainted eye, compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
When the devout religion of mine eye maintains such falsehoods, then turn tears to fires. One fairer than my love, the all-seeing sun, ne'er saw her match since first the world begun.
Tut, you saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid.
I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now, by my maidenhead at 12-year-old, I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid, where is this girl? What Juliet?
How now? Who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I am here. What is your will? This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou hearest our counsel. Thou knowest my daughter is of a pretty age.
Faith, I know her age unto an hour.
She's not 14.
She is not 14. How long now come Lammas Eve?
A fortnight in odd days.
Even or odd, of all days in the year, come Lammas Eve, she will be 14. That she shall marry, I remember it well.
Marry, that marry is the very theme I come to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honor that I dream not of.
Well, think of it now. Here in Verona, ladies of esteem younger than you are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady! Lady such a man as all the world. Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona summer hath not such a flower.
Ooh, nay, a flower, in faith a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of Paris's face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. This book in many's eyes doth share the glory that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you share in all he doth possess, by having him, making yourself no less.
No less, nay, bigger. Women grow by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris's love?
I'll look to like, if liking move, but no more deep line dart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Madam, the guests are come, supper served. You called, my young lady asked for. The nurse cursed to the pantry, and everything in extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee. Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girl, seek happy nights to happy days.
Give me the torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and too bound. I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in it should you burden love. Too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking and beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in.
Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in but every man betake him to his legs.
Come, we burn daylight, ho!
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamed a dream tonight.
And so did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep, while they do dream things true.
Oh, then I've seen Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn by a team of atomies athwart men's noses as they lie asleep. And in this state she gallops night by night, through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. Or a courtier's knees, and they dream of curtsies straight. Or a lawyer's fingers, and they dream of straight fees. Or a lady's lips, and they straight on kiss his dream, which off the angry mad with blisters plague, because their breath with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she driveth over a soldier's neck, and he dreams of cutting foreign throats, of breaches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of hell 5 fathoms deep, and then anon, drums in her ear, in which he starts and wake, and thus being frightened swears a prayer or two, and then sleeps again. This is that nab who plates the manes of horses in the night, and bakes elf locks in their foul, sluttish hairs, and once mistangled, much misfortune bodes. This is she!
Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talk'st of nothing.
True, I talk of dreams, which are children of the idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, and is more as thin a substance as the air, and more inconstant than the wind, who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and thus being angered, puffs his side to a dew-dropping south.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence yet hanging in the stars, shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revels, and expire the term of a despised life closed in my breast, by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course, direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen!
Strike, drum.
Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that I have worn a visor and can tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play. A hall, give room. And foot it, girls.
Where is pot pan that he helps not to take away? He shift a trencher, he scrape a trencher.
When good manners shall lie all in 1 or 2 men's hands, and they unwashed too, 'tis a foul thing.
Away with the joint stools, remove the court cupboard, look to the plate. Good thou, save me a piece of marchpane, and as thou lovest me, let the porter let in Susan Grindstone and now. Anthony and Potpan?
Aye, sir, ready.
You are looked for and called for, asked for and sought for in the great hall.
Truly, boys, be brisk a while, and let the longer liver take all.
More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up. Ah, sirrah, this unlooked-for sport comes well. Nay, sit, cousin Capulet. For how long is it since last yourself and I were in a mask?
By'r lady, 30 years.
What, man, 'tis not so much. 'Tis since the nuptials of Lucentio, come Pentecost as quickly as it will, some 25 years, and then we masked.
'Tis more. His son is elder, sir. His son is 30.
Will you tell me that? His son was but a ward 2 years ago.
What lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows, as yonder lady o'er her fellows shows. Did my heart love till now, forswear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
This by his voice must be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy. What dares the slave come hither, covered with an antic face, to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead I hold it not a sin.
How now, kinsman? Wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain hither come in spite, to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Content thee, gentle coz. Let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman, and to tell the truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all the town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore, be patient, and take no note of him. It is my will, the which if thou respect, show a fair presence and put off these frowns, an ill-beseeming semblance for a feast.
It fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What, goodman boy? I say he shall. Go to. What, are you the master here, or am I? Go to. You'll not endure him. God mend my soul. You'll create a mutiny among the guests.
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to. You're a saucy boy, is it so indeed? Well said, my hearts. You are a precox. Go. Be quiet, or... More light, for shame! I'll make you quiet. Well said, my hearts.
Patience perforce with willful color meeting makes my flesh tremble with its different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitter gall.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle fine is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hands too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips and holy palmers too?
I, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips by thine my sin is purged.
Then have my lips the sin that they have took?
Sin from thy lips, out trespass sweetly urged. Give me my sin again.
You kiss by the book.
Madam! Your mother desires a word with you.
What is her mother?
Mary Bachelor. Her mother is the lady of the household, and a good lady and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter, which you talked withal, and I can tell you that he who can lay hold of her shall have the chinks.
Is she a Capulet? Oh dear account, my life is my foe's debt.
Away! Be gone! The sport is at the best.
Aye, so I fear the more is my unrest.
Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We still have a trifling foolish banquet towards. Oh, is it even so? Why, I thank you then. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night. More torches here. Come, let's to bed. Oh, sirrah, by my fate, wax is late. All to my rest.
Come hither, nurse. What is yond gentleman?
I think that be the son and heir of old Tiberio.
What's he that's now going out of door?
That must be the young Petruchio.
What's he that follows there, that would not dance?
I know not.
Go, ask his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
His name is Romeo and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate, too early seen unknown and known too late. Prodigious birth it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
What's this? What's this?
A rhyme I learned even now of when I danced withal.
Juliet! Anon, anon, come let's away, the strangers are all gone.
Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
Romeo!
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 He is wise, and on my life he hath stolen him home to bed.
He ran this way and leaped this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo! Humor! Madman! Passion! Lover! I conjure thee in the likeness of a sigh. Say but one rhyme and I'm satisfied. Cry but I, me, pronounce but love and dove. He heareth not, he moveth not, he stirreth not. The ape is dead, but I will conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosaline's bright eyes, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the domain that there adjacent lie. In thy likeness, appear to us.
And if he hear thee, thou wilt anger him. Come, he hath hid himself among these trees to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Good night, Romeo, all to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go, then, for 'tis in vain. To seek him here that means not to be found.
He justs at scars that never felt a wound. But soft! What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth the lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy regions stream so bright, that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel.
O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is thy enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What is a Montague? It is nor hand, nor arm, nor face, nor foot, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be by some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus bescreened in night so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself, because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo, and a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb. In the place of death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do that dares love attempt. Therefore thy kinsmen are no stop to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes. And but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
Thy love, who first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou know'st the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearst, thou may prove false. At lovers' perjuries then say, Jove laughs. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkst I'm too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay. So thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, therefore thou mayst think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I confess, but that which thou overheardst tonight, ere I was where my true love's passion. Therefore, do not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I swear.
Swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear, or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
if my heart's dear love...
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It's too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning, which doth cease to be, ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love, by summer's ripening breath, shall prove a beauteous flower when we next meet. Good night, good night. As sweet repose and rest, come to thy heart as within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and give it thee again, I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. I hear some noise within. Sweet love, adieu. Anon, good nurse! Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I will come again.
Oh, blessed, blessed night. I'm afeard being in night all this is but a dream. Too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage. Send me word tomorrow, by one I'll procure come to thee, where and when thou wilt perform the rite, and at thy foot all my fortunes I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon! But if thou mean'st not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come! To seize thy suit and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow I will send.
So thrive, my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks.
Hist! Romeo! Hist! Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again.
It is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet sound lovers' tongues by night, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo!
My dear.
At what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
At the hour of 9.
I shall not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgotten why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
And I'll still stay to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. Sweet good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast, whatever sleep in peace so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father sell, his help to crave and my dear hap to tell.
The grey-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light. I must upfill this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juice flowers. The earth that's nature's mother is her tomb. What is her burying grave that is her womb? Oh, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in herbs, plants, stones, and their true qualities. Virtue itself turns vice, being misapplied, and vice sometimes by action dignified. Within the infant rind of this small flower, poison hath residence and medicine power. For being smelt with that part cheers each part, being tasted slays all senses with the heart. 2 such opposed kings encamp them still, in man such as herbs, grace, and rude will, and where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker death eats up that plant.
Good morrow, father.
Benedicite! What early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Or, if not so, and here I hit it right, our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight?
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin. Wast thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline, my ghostly father? No, I forgot that name, and that name is woe.
There's my good son. But where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee ere thou ask it me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me, that's by me wounded. Both are remedies within thy help and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intercession likewise steads my foe.
Be plain, good son, and holy in thy drift. Riddling confession finds, but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed, and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy St. Francis, what a change is here! This Rosaline, who thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. The sun that not yet shines on heaven's clears, thy old groans ringing in mine ancient ears. If ever thou was thyself, and these woes thine, thou and these woes were all for Rosaline, and art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then. Women may fall when there's no strength in men.
Thou chidest me oft for loving Rosaline.
For doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
And badest me bury love.
Not in the grave, to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide not. She whom I love now doth grace for grace and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Oh, she knew well. Thy love did read by rote, but could not spell. But come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect I'll thy assistant be. For this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Oh, let us hence. I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father's. I spoke with his man.
Ah, that same pale-hearted wench, that Rosaline, torments him so that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman of old Capulet, hath sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that can write may answer a letter.
Nay, he will answer the letter's master, how he dares being dared.
Alas, poor Romeo, he is already dead, stabbed by a white wench, shot through the ear by love song. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why? What is Tybalt?
More than a prince of cats, I can tell you. Oh, he is a courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you keep prick song, keeps time, distance, and proportion. He rests his men rest in 1, 2, and the third in your bosom. A duelist, a very butcher of a silk button, a gentleman of the very first house in the first and second cause. Ah, the immortal passado, the punto reverso, the high.
The what?
The pox of such antics, lisping fantasticos, these new tuners of the accent. Oh, by Jesus, a very good blade, a very tall man, very good whore. Is this not a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should thus be afflicted by these strange flies, these fashion mongers, these perdonimies, who stand so much in the new form that they cannot rest at ease to the old bench? Oh, their bones.
Here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Bonjour, Signor Romeo. That's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us a counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much as say. Such a case as yours constrains him out to bow in the hams.
Meaning to curtsy.
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
A most courteous exposition.
Nay, I am the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower.
Right.
Why then is my pump well flowered?
Well said! Follow me this jest until thou hast worn out thy pump. And that after the single soul is worn, the jest remain after wearing the soul singular.
Oh, single-souled jest, solely singular for the singleness.
Good Benvolio! Come between us, my wits faint!
Switch and spurs, or I'll cry a match.
Nay, if one of thy wits run a wild goose chase, I am done for thou hast more wild goose in one of thy wits than I have in my whole 5. Was I with you there for the goose?
Stop there.
Here's goodly gear.
A sail!
2, a shirt and a smock.
Peter, anon, my fan, Peter.
Good Peter, to hide her face, for her fan's the fairer face.
Good morrow, gentlemen.
Good evening, fair gentlewoman.
Is it evening?
'Tis no less, for the body hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Out upon you! What a man are you!
One, gentlewoman, that God hath made for himself to mar.
By my troth, it is well said, for himself to mar. Can either of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
You say well. If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will invite him to some supper.
Romeo, will you go to your father's? Will to dinner thither.
I will follow you.
Farewell, ancient lady. Lady.
Mary, farewell. Who was this saucy merchant that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman, nurse, that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
Scurvy knave. And thou must stand by too and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure.
I saw no man use you of pleasure. If I had, my weapon would have shortly been out, I warrant you. Had I occasion for a good quarrel, and the law on my side.
Scurvy knave. I pray you, sir, a word. As you know, my lady bade me inquire you out. What she bade me say, I will keep to myself. But first, let me tell ye, if ye should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it would be a very gross kind of behavior, as they say, for the gentlewoman is very young. And if you should deal double with her, it would be a very ill kind of behavior and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Oh, I will tell her 1,000 times. Good heart and thy faith. She will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her? Thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her that you protest, which I see as a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Friar Laurence's cell be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
Oh, no, truly, sir, not a penny.
Go to. I say you shall.
Oh, this afternoon, sir? Well, she will be there. My mistress is the sweetest lady. Oh, when 'twas a prating little thing. Oh, there is one nobleman in town, one Paris, who would fain lay knife aboard. But she, good heart, would had as lief as see a toad, a very toad, than see him. I anger her sometimes and say Paris is the proper man, but I warrant you, when I say so, her face turns as pale as any clout in the versal world.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Peter!
Anon?
My fan. Go before in a pace.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. She is lame. Love's herald should be thoughts, which 10 times faster glide than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over lowering hills. Therefore do nimble-pinioned doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind-swift Cupid wings. Now the sun is upon its highmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours. Yet she has not come. Had she infections and warm youthful blood, my words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many faint as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, pale as lead. Oh God, she comes! Nurse, what news? Annie, what news? Why dost thou look sad? If thy news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I am aweary. Give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunt I've had.
I wouldst thou had my bones and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee, speak. Come. Good nurse. Speak.
Well, you know not how to choose a man. Romeo, though his face excels all men's, and for a leg, and for a body, and... Oh, he is not the flower of courtesy, but gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench, serve God. What, have you dined at home?
No, but all this did I know before. What says he of her marriage? What of that?
Lord, how my head aches. Oh, it beats as if it would fall into 1,000,000 pieces. Oh, my back. The other side. My back! Oh, my back! Beshrew your heart for making me catch my death while jaunting up and down.
Oh, faith, I am sorry that thou art not well.
Sweet, sweet, sweet nurse, what says my love?
Your love says, like an honest gentleman and a courteous and a virtuous. Where is your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
God's lady dear, are you so hot? Mary, come up by trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward do your messages yourself.
Here's such a coil. Come, what says Romeo?
Have you leave to go to shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you hence to Friar Laurence's cell, for there waits a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'd be scarlet straight at any news. Okay, hie you to the church, and I'll go to dinner.
Hie to high fortune, honest nurse, farewell.
So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours in sorrow chide us not.
Amen, amen. But come what sorrow can. It cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words. Then, love-devouring death, do what he dare. It is enough I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their passion die like fire and powder. Therefore love moderately. Long love doth so. Too swift arrives as tardy is too slow. Ah, here comes the lady now.
Good even to my ghostly confessor.
Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both.
As much to him, else is his thanks too much.
Ah, Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbor air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter.
Conceit, more rich in matter than in words, brags of substance, not of ornament, for they are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love has grown to such excess that I cannot sum up some of half my wealth.
Come, come. We shall make short work. For, by your leaves, you shall not stay alone, till Holy Church incorporate two in one.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl. For now these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Come, come, thou art as hot as a jack-and-die mood as any in Italy, and soon moved to be moody, and soon moody to be moved.
And what too?
Why, thou wilt quarrel with a man having no other reason, because thou hast hazel eyes. What eye but such an eye to spy a quarrel? Thy head is full of quarrel as an egg is full of meat, and thy head has been beaten as an egg for quarreling. And yet thou wilt tutor me from quarreling?
By my head, here comes a Capulet.
By my heel, I care not.
Gentlemen, good evening. A word with one of you?
And but one word with one of us? Coupled with something, make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
Can you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortst with Romeo.
Consort! What? Dost thou make minstrels of us? If thou make minstrels of us, look to hear nothing but discords. Here is my fiddlestick, here is that shall make you dance. Come, consort.
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private place and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to gaze. Let them look. I will budge for no man's pleasure, I.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wears your livery.
Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none, therefore farewell. I see thou know'st me not.
Boy, this does not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee more than thou canst devise. Though thou shalt know the reason of my love, And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as my own, be satisfied.
Oh, calm, dishonorable, vile submission! Alice Toccata carries it away! Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives that I shall make bold withal. And, as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword from his pitcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
I am for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, your passado.
Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince hath expressly forbidden bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt, good Mercutio.
I am hurt. A plague of both your houses. I am sped. Is he gone and hath nothing?
What, art thou hurt?
Aye, a scratch. 'Tis enough, 'twill do. Where's my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon.
Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much.
Aye, 'tis not as deep as a well, nor as wide as a church door. But 'twas enough, 'twill do. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. A plague of both your houses. Why the devil did you come between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall surely faint. A plague of both your houses. They've made worms meat out of me. I have it, and soundly too. Your houses!
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt in my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt, that an hour hath been my kinsman. O sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened valor's steel.
Oh, Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds, which, too untimely here did scorn the earth.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt, back again.
Alive in triumph, and Mercutio slain? Away to heaven respective lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take back the villain again that late thou gavest me. For Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou, or I, or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy that didst consort him here, will with him hence.
This shall determine that.
Romeo, away! Be gone! The citizens are up, and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed, the prince will doom thee death if thou art taken. Hence be gone! Away!
Oh, I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
Which way ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt, that murderer, which way ran he?
There lies that Tybalt.
Up, sir. Go with me. I charge thee in the prince's name. Obey.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
O noble prince, I can discover all, the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo, who slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt, my cousin, oh, my brother's child. Oh, prince, oh, cousin. Husband, oh, the blood is spilt, oh, my noble kinsman. Prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours shed blood of Montague.
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him but think how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who, all as hot, turns deadly, point to point. Romeo, he cries, hold, friends, part, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio. And then Tybalt fled, but by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for, ere I could draw to part them, was stout Tybalt slain. And, as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth.
or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague, affection leads him false, he speaks not true. I beg for justice which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt, Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him, he slew Mercutio, who now the price of his dear blood doth owe.
Not Romeo, prince, he was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. I have an interest in your hate's proceedings. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. But I'll immerse you with so strong a fine, that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses, nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore, use none. Let Romeo hence and fast, else when he's found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body and attend our will. Mercy but murderers, pardoning those that kill.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging. Such a Wagner as Phaethon would whip you to the west in bringing cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runway's eyes may wink and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Come, night! Come, Romeo, come, thou day and night. For thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle night, come, loving, black-browed night, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that the world will be in love with the night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not yet possessed, and though I am sold, not yet enjoyed, but oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Nurse, what news? I mean, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Well a day. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. We are undone, lady. We are undone. Alack the day, he's gone, he's killed, he's dead.
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, who would have ever thought? Romeo!
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? Has Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, or those eyes shut that make the answer I. If he be dead, say I. If not, no. Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe.
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. Pale, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood.
Oh, break my heart, poor bankrupt, break at once.
Oh, honest Tybalt, courteous gentleman, that I should ever live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Hath Romeo slain himself? Is Tybalt dead, my dear loved cousin and my dearer lord? Then, dreadful trumpets, sound thy general doom, for who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is dead. Romeo is banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh, God. Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did. It did. Alack the day, it did.
Oh, serpent heart hid with a flowering face. Did ever a dragon keep such fair a cave? Was ever a book containing such vile matter so fairly bound?
Oh, no trust, no honesty, no faith in men. All perjured, all forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is a shame to sit. For 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast I was to chide at him.
Will you speak well of he that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name, when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mingled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. My husband lives, that would have slain Tybalt, and Tybalt is dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort, wherefore I weep then. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo is banished. That one word banished hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough had it ended there. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, no measure, no bound in that word's death. No woe can that word sound. Oh,
Where's my father and my mother, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Would you like me to bring you to them? I can bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent for Romeo's banishment. Come, night. Come, nurse. All to my bed. In death, not Romeo take my maidenhead.
Hie you to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I know well where he is. Mark my words, he will be here tonight. I'll to him, he is hid at Laurence's cell.
Oh, find him, and give this ring to my knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
Romeo? Romeo! Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man! Affliction is enamored of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity.
Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? What sorrow craves acquaintance at my hand that I yet know not?
Too familiar is my son with such sour company. A gentler punishment hath vanished from his lips, not body's death, but body's banishment.
Ha! Banishment? Be merciful, say death. For exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Hence from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death. Then banishment is death mistermed. Calling death banishment, thou cutt'st my head off with the golden axe, and smilest upon the stroke that murders me.
O deadly sin, O rude unthankfulness! Thy fault, for our law commands death. Yet the prince, in his wisdom, turned that black word death to banishment, having cast aside that law. This is clear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture, and not mercy. Heaven is here, where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand, and steal a mortal blessing from her lips, who even in pure and vestal modesty still blush as thinking their own kiss is sin. But Romeo may not, he is banished. And say'st thou yet that exile is not death? Hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife, no sudden mean of death, though ne'er so mean, but banished to kill me? Banished? O friar, the damned use that word in hell. Howlings attend it. How hast thou the heart, being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend professed, to mangle me with that word, banished?
Then, fond madman, let me but speak a word.
Oh, thou wilt speak again of banishment.
I'll give thee armor to keep off that word. Adversity's sweet milk, philosophy, to comfort thee, though thou art banished.
Yet, banished, hang up philosophy. Unless philosophy can displant a town, make a Juliet, reverse a prince's doom. It helps not, it prevails not, talk no more.
Oh, then I see that madmen have no ears.
How should they, when the wise men have no eyes?
Let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak of that thou dost not feel. Wert thou as young as I, Juliet thy love, an hour but married, Tybalt murdered, doting like me, and like me banished, then mightst thou speak. Then mightst thou tear thy hair and fall upon the ground as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave.
Arise, Romeo, one knocks. Thou shalt be taken.
Not I, unless the breaths of heartsick groans mist-like enfold me from the search of eyes.
What comes? Hark how they knock. Stay a while. Run to my study. Go, by and by. Arise, Romeo, you will be taken. Who art knocked so hard? Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me come in, and you shall know my will. I come from Lady Juliet.
Ah, welcome then.
Holy Friar, oh holy Friar, tell me, where is my lady's lord? Where's Romeo?
There on the ground, His own tears have made him drunk.
He even lies in her case, just in my lady's case. Oh, woeful sympathy, piteous predicament. Even so lies she, weeping and blubbering, blubbering and weeping. Stand up! Stand up, stand, and you be a man. For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an O?
Nurse, spakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Doth she not think me an old murderer? Where is she? And how doth she? And what says my concealed lady to our concealed love?
Oh, she says nothing, sir, but down falls, and then starts up, and then Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries, and then down falls again.
As if that name shot from the deadly level of a gun did murder her, as that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me that I may sack the hateful mansion.
Hold thy desperate hand! By my holy order, I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself? And slay thy lady that lives in thee by doing damned hate upon thyself? Rouse thee, dear man! Thy Juliet is alive, and for whose sake thou wast but lately dead. There art thou happy. Tybalt would slay thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy. Our law commands death for your black deed, but thy law will become thy friend as death turned to banishment. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings lights upon thy back. Go to her. Go to thy love as was decreed. Ascend her chamber, hence and comfort her. But look not that thou stay to the watch, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou must live until we can find a way to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back. Go before, nurse, and commend me to thy lady, and hasten all the house to bed, which in their time of sorrow they will be most apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Lord, I could have stayed here all night to hear good counsel. Oh, what learning is. My lord, I will let her know that you will come.
Do so, and bid my sweet prepare to chide.
And this ring she bid me give you, sir. Now hie you, make haste, for it grows very late.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
Either go now, or leave in the morning, disguised from haste. Go hence, go forth, good night!
But that a joy past joy calls out on me. It were a grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have not had a chance to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her cousin Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. Look you, it is very late. She'll not come down tonight.
These times of woe afford no time to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she is mewed up in her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she'll be ruled in all aspects by me. Nay more, I doubt it not. Wife, go you to Juliet ere you go to bed, and acquaint her here of my son Paris's love, and bid her, mark you me, Wednesday next. But soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday? Well, Wednesday is too soon. Oh, Thursday let it be. Oh, Thursday tell her. She shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We'll keep no great ado, a friend or two, for hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, it may be thought that we held him carelessly, being our kinsman, if we revelled too much. Therefore, we'll have half a dozen friends, and there an end. But what say you to Thursday?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Oh, get you gone then. Oh, Thursday let it be. Wife, go you to her, then you go to bed, and prepare her up against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. Light to my chamber. For me, it is so very, very late that we may call it early by and by. Good night.
Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale, not the lark, that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious shrieks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountaintops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Yon light is not daylight, I know it I. It is some meteor that the sun exhales to be to thee this night a torch-bearer, and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet, thou needst not to be gone.
Let me be ta'en, let me be put to death. I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'll say, yon grey is not the morning's eye, 'tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow. Nor that is not the lark whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death, and welcome! Juliet wills it so. How is my soul? Let's talk. It is not day.
It is. I hence be gone away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, for she divideth us. Now look, more light, and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Madam,
Nurse,
your lady mother is on her way to the chamber. Be wary and look about.
then, window, let day in, and let life out.
Farewell, farewell. One kiss and I'll descend.
Art thou gone so? Love, lord, husband, friend, I must hear from thee every day in the hour, for in a minute there are many days. Oh, by this count I shall be much in years ere I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell. I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Oh, think'st thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not, and all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our time to come.
Oh God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee, now thou art so low as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou look'st pale.
And trust me, love, in my eyes so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu, adieu.
Farewell. Oh, Fortune, Fortune, all men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, what dost thou with him that is renowned for faith? Be fickle, Fortune, for then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back.
Ho, daughter, are you up?
Who's to that calls? Is it my lady mother? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither?
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I'm not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death? What, wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live again. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
Thou weepst not for his death, as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain, Romeo.
Villain, and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him, I do, with all my heart.
We will have vengeance, fear thou not. Then weep no more. I'll send to one in Mantua, where that same banished runagate doth live. Shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company. And then I hope thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I shall never be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead. Madam, if you could find out but a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, that Romeo should, upon receipt thereof, soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named, and cannot come to him, to wreak the love that I bore my cousin upon the body that slaughtered him.
Find thou the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they, I beseech your ladyship?
Well, well, thou hast a careful father, child, one who, to put thee out of thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy, one thou expectst not, and I look not for.
Madam, in happy time, what day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Now, by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste that I should be wed ere he that should be my husband comes to woo. Tell my lord and father, madam, that I shall not marry, and when I do, it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. Oh, these are news indeed.
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself. See how he will take it at your hands.
How now, wife? Have you delivered to her a decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Is she not proud? Doth she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have brought such a worthy gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud that I can never be of what I hate, but thankful, even for hate, that has meant love.
How now? How now? What is this? Chopped logic? Proud, and I thank you, and I thank you not, yet not proud, Mistress Minion you. Thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but instead fettle your fine joints to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I shall drag thee on a hurdle thither.
Fie, are you mad? Good father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me but with patience to speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage. Disobedient wretch. I tell thee what, get thee to church a Thursday, or never again look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child, but I see now that this one is too much, and that we have a curse in having her. Out on her building.
God in heaven bless her. You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
Peace, you mumbling fool. Go utter your gravity or gossip's full, for here we need it not.
You are too hot.
Oh, God's bread, it makes me mad. A whining mammet and her fortune's tender to reply, I'll not wed, I'm too young, I cannot marry, I pray you, pardon me. But as you will not wed, I will pardon you. Graze where you will, it shall not be with me. Look to it, think on it. I do not use to jest. Next Thursday is near, lay hand on heart advise, and you be mine, I'll give you to my old friend. And you be not, I shall never acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee any good. Trust to it, bethink you, I shall not be forsworn.
Is there no pity in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week, or, if thou do not, make my wedding bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Oh. Nurse, my faith is in heaven, my husband is here on earth. How shall that faith return to me from heaven unless that husband sent it to me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me, counsel me. Do not have a word of joy. Some comfort, nurse.
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing. That he ne'er comes back to challenge you. Since the case now stands as so it doth, I think it best you marry within the county. I mean, Paris is a lovely gentleman. I think you're happy with this second match, for it excels your first match, and if it didn't, your first match is dead, or 'twere as good as were.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And my soul too, or else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me a marvelous much. Go in and tell my lady that I am going to Friar Laurence's cell, having displeased my father, to make confession and to be absolved.
Marry, I will, and this is wisely done.
Oh, ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend! All to the friar to seek his remedy. But if all else fail, I have myself but the power to die.
On Thursday, sir? The time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind. Uneven is this course, I like it not.
Immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love, for Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she doth give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears, which, too much minded by herself alone, may be put from her by society. Now do you know the reason of this haste?
I would I knew not why it should be slowed. Look, my lord, the lady comes now.
Happily met, my lady and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be must be, love, on Thursday next.
What must be shall be.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to this father?
To answer to that, I should confess to you.
Do not deny to him that you love me.
I will confess to you that I love him.
So will ye, I am sure, that you love me.
If I do so, it will be more of price being spoke behind your back than to your face. Are you at leisure, holy father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass?
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter. Now, my lord, we must entreat this time alone.
God shield I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse ye. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
door! Shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come, weep with me. Past hope, past cure, past help.
Ah, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It strains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing must prorogue it, on Thursday next be married to this county.
Tell me not, gentle friar, what thou hearst of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If, in thy wisdom, thou canst give no help, do but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently. Be not so long to speak, I long to die, if what thou speakst of speaks not of a remedy.
Hold, daughter. I do indeed spy a kind of hope that would crave as desperate an execution as that which we would attempt to prevent. If rather than marry Paris, thou hast the strength of will to kill thyself, then it is likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to chide off this present shame. A thing that copest with death, but works alongside him to escape from it. And if thou bidst me, I'll give thee remedy.
Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of any tower, or walk in thievish ways, or bid me lurk where serpents are, or chain me with roaring bears, or bid me go into a new-made grave and hide me with a dead man in a shroud. Things, to have them told, make me tremble, but I will do without fear or doubt to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
Hold then. Go home. Be merry. Give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night. Look that thou lie alone. Let not thy nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Take thou this vial, and, being then in bed, this distilled liquor drink thou of, when presently a cold and drowsy humor through all thy veins shall run. And then, for no warmth, no breath, no pulse shall testify thou livest. Now, each part, deprived of supple government, shall, stark and stiff and cold, appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, until awakening as if from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom come to wake you from your sleep in the morn, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, thou shalt be borne to the same ancient vault as where the rest of the kindreds of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against the time that thou shalt awake, I shall writ to Romeo of our letters, and he shall know my drift. The night that thou shalt awake, he and I will observe, and Romeo shall bear thee away to Mantua to rid thee of this present shame.
Oh, give me, tell me not of fear.
Hold then, go home, be strong and prosperous. As this resolve is, I'll send a friar with great speed to Mantua, and send with thy letters to thy lord.
Oh, Lord, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
So many guests invited us here are writ. Sirrah, go hire me 20 cunning cooks.
You shall have none ill, sir, for I'll try if they can lick their fingers.
How canst thou try them so?
Marry, sir, 'tis an ill cook that cannot lick his own fingers. Therefore, he that cannot lick his fingers goes not with me.
Go, be gone. We shall be much unfurnished for this time. What, is my daughter gone to Friar Laurence?
See where she comes from shrift with merry look.
How now, my headstrong? Where have you been gadding?
Where I've learnt me to repent the sin of disobedient opposition to you in your behest, and am enjoined by holy Laurence to fall prostrate here, and beg your pardon. Oh, pardon, I beseech you, henceforth I'm ever ruled by you.
Send for the county. Inform him of this. I'll have this knot knit up tomorrow morning.
I met the youthful lord at Laurence's cell, and gave him what becomed modesty I might. Not overstep the bounds of modesty.
Why, this is good. I'm glad on it. Stand up. This is as things should be. Now, let me see the county. I, Mary, I say, go forth and fetch him hither. Now, poor God, this holy reverend friar, our whole city is much bound to him.
Nurse, will you go with me to my closet to help me sort such needful ornaments as you think fit to furnish me tomorrow?
No, not till Thursday. There's time enough.
Go, nurse, go with her. We'll to church tomorrow.
We shall be short in our provision. 'Tis now near night.
Tush, I will stir about, and all will be well, I assure thee, wife. Now, go thou to Juliet to help deck up her. I'll not to bed tonight. Let me alone. I'll play the housewife for this one. What ho? They are all forth. Well, I will walk myself to County Paris to help prepare him up against tomorrow. But my heart is wondrous light since this wayward girl is so reclaimed.
These attires are best, but, sweet nurse, I pray you, leave me to myself tonight, for I have need of many horizons to move the heavens to smile upon my state, which, well, thou knowest, is cross and full of sin.
What? Are you busy, ho? Need you my help?
No, madam, we have called such necessaries as are behopeful for our state tomorrow. So, please you, let me be alone this night, and let the nurse stay up with you, for I'm sure you need help, and because your hands are full in this so sudden busyness.
Good night. Get thee to bed and rest, for thou hast need.
Farewell! God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint, cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. I'll call them back to comfort me. Nurse! What should she do here? My dismal scene needs I must act alone. Come, vial. What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No, no. This shall forbid it. Lie thou here. What if this be a mixture which the friar subtly hath ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he's been dishonored because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is, and yet methinks it should not, for he hath still been tried a holy man. How, if when I am laid into the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? There's a fearful point. Shall I not then die strangled in that vault, to whose foul mouth no healthsome air breathes in? Oh, if I wake, shall I be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears, and madly play with my forefather's joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud, and in this rage with some great kinsman's bone as with a club dash out my desperate brains? Oh look, methinks I see Tybalt's ghost seeking out Romeo, that did spit his body on a rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay! Romeo! Romeo. Romeo. Here's drink. I drink to thee.
Come, stir, stir, stir. The second cock hath crowed. The curfew bell hath rung. 'Tis 3 o'clock. Look to the baked meats, Angelica. Spare not for the cost. Now, fellow, what's there?
Things for the cook, sir, but I know not what.
Make haste, make haste. Sirrah? Fetch dryer logs. Call Peter, he'll show thee where they are.
I have a head, sir, that will find out logs, and do not bother Peter for the matter.
Mass and well said, a merry whoreson. Thou shalt be loggerhead. Good faith, 'tis day, and Count de Paris shall be here with music straight. I hear him now. Nurse, wife, what ho? What nurse, I say? Go to Juliet and help trim her up. I'll go and make chat with Count de Paris. Make haste. The bridegroom, he has come already. Make haste, I say.
Mistress! What, mistress? Juliet, fast I warned her. Why, lady? Why, lamb? Fie, you slug of bed? Why, love, I say. Madam, sweetheart, why, bride? What, not a word? I must needs wake you. Madam, madam. What, and dressed in your clothes and down again? I must needs wake you. Lady, lady, lady. Alas, alas, help, help, my lady's dead. Oh, well, a day that I ever lived. Oh, some aqua vitae, my lord, my lady.
What noise is this?
Oh, lamentable day.
What is the matter?
Look, oh, heavy day.
Oh me, my child, my only life. Revive, look up, or I will die with thee. Help, call help.
For shame! Bring Juliet forth, her lord is come.
She's dead. Deceased, she's dead, she's dead.
Alack the day, she's dead, she's dead, she's dead.
Huh? Let me see her out. Alas, she is out cold, and her blood is settled and her joints are stiff. Life and these lips have long been separated, and death lies upon her, like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower in all the field.
Oh, lamentable day.
Oh, woeful time.
Death, that hath taken her hence to make me wail, ties up my tongue and will not let me speak. Come, is the bride ready to go to the church? Ready to go, but never to return. O son, the night before thy wedding day hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, as flowered as she was, as deflowered by him. Death is my son-in-law. Death is my heir. My daughter he hath wedded. And I will die, and leave all to him. Life, living, all is death's.
Have I thought long to see this morning's face, and doth it give me such a sight as this?
Accursed, unhappy, wretched, hateful day. The most miserable hour ere time saw in lasting labor of his pilgrimage. Oh, but one poor and loving child. One thing to rejoice and solace in, and cruel death hath catched it from my sight.
Oh, woe. Oh, woeful, woeful, woeful day. Most lamentable day, most woeful day that I ever lived.
Despised, distressed, hated, martyred, killed. Oh, uncomfortable time. Why camest thou now to murder our solemnity? Oh, child, my soul, and yet not my child. Dead art thou. Alack, my child is dead, and with my child my joys are buried.
Peace, heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now heaven hath all, and it is all the better for the maid. Your part in her you could not keep from death, but heaven keeps his part in eternal life. The most you sought was her promotion. For it was your own personal heaven she should be advanced. Yet weep ye now to see that she is advanced high above the clouds, as high as heaven itself? Dry up your tears. Stick up your rosemary on this fair corpse. And, as the custom is, in all her best array, bear her to the church.
All things that we ordained festival turn from their office to black funeral. Our instruments to melancholy bells, our wedding cheers to a sad burial feast, our solemn hymns to sullen dirges change, and our bridal flowers now serve for buried corse, and all things change them for the contrary.
If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's lord sits lightly in his throne, and all this day an unaccustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a man leave to think, and breathed such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Ah me, how sweet is love itself possessed, when but love's shadows are so rich in joy. News from Verona. How now, Balthazar? Dost thou bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet? That I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well.
Well, then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it from my office, sir.
Is it even so? Then I defy you, stars! Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper and hire post horses. I will hence tonight.
I do beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure.
Tush, thou art deceived. Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter. Get thee gone, and hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. O mischief, how swift thou art to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts he dwells. As I remember, this should be the house. What ho! Apothecary!
Who calls so loud?
Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold, there is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins, that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fired doth hurry from the fatal cannon's womb.
Such mortal drugs I have, but man to his law is death to any he that utters them.
Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness, and fierce to die? Famine is in thy cheeks, need and oppression starveth in thine eyes. Contempt and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it, and take this.
My poverty, but not my will, consents.
I pay thy poverty and not thy will.
Put this in any liquid thing you will, and if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
Farewell. Buy food and get thyself in flesh. Cordial and not poison. Go with me to Juliet's grave, for there must I use thee.
Holy Franciscan Friar, Brother Ho.
The same should be the voice of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What say Romeo? Or if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
Going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order, to associate me here in this city visiting the sick. And the searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in the house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors and wouldn't let us forth, so that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
What?
I got someone to go with me, but we have to quarantine before going to Mantua.
Who then bore my letter to Romeo?
I could not send it. Here it is again, nor get a messenger to bring it thee. So fearful were they of infection.
Does it spread on surfaces?
One day they say it does, the other it doesn't. I can't keep up.
Unhappy fortune. This letter was not nice, but full of charge of dear import, and neglecting it may do much danger. Friar John, go hence. Get me an iron crow and bring it straight unto my cell.
Brother, I'll go bring it thee.
Now I must alone to the monument. Within 3 hours will fair Juliet wake. She will beshrew me that Romeo hath no notice of these accidents. But I will ride again to Mantua and keep her at my cell till Romeo may come. Poor living corpse, closed in a dead man's tomb.
Give me thy torch, boy, hence, and stand aloof. Yet put it up, for I would not be seen. Under yond yew trees lay thee all along, holding thine ear close to the hollow ground. So shall no foot upon the churchyard tread, but thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me, a signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee. Go.
I am almost afraid to stand alone here in the churchyard, yet I will adventure.
Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. O woe, thy canopy is dust and stones, which with sweet water nightly I will dew, or, wanting that, with tears distilled by moans, the obsequies that I for thee will keep, nightly shall be to strew thy grave and weep.
Caca!
The boy gives warning something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight, to cross my obsequies and true love's right? What, with a torch, muffle me night awhile.
Hold! Take this letter. Early in the morning, see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Give me the light. Upon thy life I charge thee, whate'er thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof, and do not interrupt me in my course. But if thou jealous dost return to pry, by heaven I will tear thee joint by joint, and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that, live and be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow.
For all the same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
This is that banished haughty Montague that murdered my love's cousin, with which grief it is supposed that the fair creature died, and here is come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him. Stop thine hallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good, gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence, and leave me. I beseech thee, youth, put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, be gone! By heaven, I love thee better than myself, for I come hither armed against myself. Stand not, be gone, and live, and hereafter say, a madman's mercy bade thee run away.
I do defy thy conjurations, and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy.
Oh Lord, they fight. I will go call the watch.
Oh, I am slain. If thou be merciful, open the tomb, lay me with Juliet.
In faith, I will. Let me peruse this face. Mercutio's kinsman, noble County Paris. What said my man as my betossed soul did not attend him as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have married Juliet. Said he not so? Or did I dream it so? Or am I mad, hearing him talk of Juliet, to think it was so? Oh, give me thy hand, one writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. A grave? Oh no, a lantern, slaughtered youth. For here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Death, lie thou there, thy dead man interred. How oft when men are at the point of death have they been merry, which their keepers call a lightning before death. Oh, how may I call this a lightning? Oh, my love, my wife! Death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here will I remain with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, O you, the doors of breath, seal with the righteous kiss, a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct, come, unsavory guide. Here's to my love. O true apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die.
St. Francis be my speed! How oft tonight have my old feet stumbled at graves? Who's there?
Here's one, a friend, and one that knows you well.
Bless be upon you, then. Tell me, good my friend, whose torch is yond that vainly lends his light to grubs and eyeless skulls? As I discern, it burneth in the capel's monument.
It doth so, holy sir, and there is my master, one that you love.
Who?
Romeo.
How long hath he been there?
Full half an hour.
Go with me to the vault.
Well, I dare not, sir. My master knows not but I am gone hence, and did fearfully menace me with death, if I stayed to look on his intents.
Stay then. I'll go alone. Fear comes upon me. How much I fear some ill, unlucky thing.
As I did sleep under this yew tree here, I dreamt my master and another fought, and that my master slew him.
Romeo. Romeo! Oh, pale. And who else? What, Paris too? Steeped in blood. Oh, what unkind hour is guilty of this lamentable chance? The lady stirs.
Oh, comfortable friar, where is my lord? I know well where I should be, and here I am. Come, where is Romeo?
I hear a noise. My lady, you must come from that nest of death, contagion, and unnatural sleep. Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead. And Paris too. You must hasten. I'll dispose of thee among a sisterhood of holy nuns. Stay not to question, for the watch is coming. Come, go, good Juliet. I dare no longer stay.
Go, get thee hence, for I will not away. What's this? A cup closed in my true love's hand? Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end. O churl, drunk all, and left no friendly drop behind to help me after. I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them, to make me die with a restorative. Thy lips are warm. Yea, noise. Then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger. This is thy sheath. There, rest, and let me die.
Lead boy, which way? That way, there, where the torch doth burn. The ground is bloody. Search about the churchyard.
Go, some of you, whoever you find, attach.
Pitiful sight! Here lies the county slain, and Juliet, warm, bleeding, and newly dead, who here hath lain these 2 days buried.
Go, tell the prince, run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues, some other search.
We see the grounds whereon these woes do lie, but the true grounds of all these piteous woes we cannot without circumstance descry.
Here's Romeo's man. We found him in the churchyard.
Hold him in safety till the prince come hither.
Here comes a friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps, and we found him on this churchyard side.
A great suspicion. Stay the friar too.
What misadventure is so early up that calls our person from our morning's rest?
What should it be that they shriek so abroad?
The people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open outcry toward our monument.
What fear is this which startles in our ears?
Sovereign, here lies the county Paris slain, and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed.
Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes.
Here's a friar and slaughtered Romeo's man.
Oh, heavens! Oh, wife, look how our daughter bleeds! this dagger. For lo, his house is empty on the back of Montague, and is missheathed in my daughter's bosom.
Oh me, this sight of death is as a bell that warns my old age to a sepulchre.
Come, Montague, for thou art early up, to see thy son and Haremore early down.
Alas, my liege, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of my son's exile hath stopped her breath. What further woe conspires against mine age?
Look, and thou shalt see.
O thou untaught! What manners is in this, to press before thy father to a grave?
Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while, till we can clear these ambiguities, and know their spring, their head, their true descent. Then will I be general to your woes, and lead you even to death. Meantime forbear, and let mischance be slave to patience. Bring forth the parties of suspicion.
I am the greatest, able to do the least, yet most suspected, as the time and place doth make against me in the style for murder. Yet I do stand before you, prepared to both impeach and purge, myself condemned and myself excused.
Then say at once, what dost thou know in this?
I will be brief, for 'tis a tedious tale, and I am not long of breath. Romeo, there dead, was husband to that Juliet, and she, there dead, was Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and their stolen marriage day was Tybalt's doomsday, for whom and whose untimely death banished the new-made bridegroom from the city. For whom, and not for Tybalt, Juliet pined. You, to rid the siege of grief from her, betrothed and would have married her to County Paris. Then she comes to me, and with wild looks bid me devise some means to rid her of the second marriage, or there in my cell would she do violence on herself. I gave to her, as tutored by my art, a sleeping potion, which so took effect as I intended, for it brought on her the form of death. Meantime, I writ to Romeo to come hither the night the potion's effect should cease, and, along with my help, when she wakes, bear the fair maiden away to Mantua, his new home. But he who bore my letter, Friar John, was stayed by accident, and yesternight returned my letter back. And so I set out to the monument to find the fair maiden and keep her at my cell till conveniently could I send to Romeo. But when I got there, ere the minute of her waking, I discovered Paris and true Romeo dead, laying aside by the maiden. She wakes, and I bid her hasten to me. Come, be safe, and I bid her bear this work of heaven with patience. But she, too desperate, would not come with me, and, as it seems, did violence on herself. All this I know, and to the marriage her nurse is privy. But if aught these misdeeds be my fault, then I shall be taken, and let my old life be slain as punishment under the rigor of severest law.
We still have known thee for a holy man. Where's Romeo's man? What can he say in this?
I brought my master news of Juliet's death, and then in post he came from Mantua, to the same place, to the same monument. This letter he early bid me give his father, and threatened me with death going in the vault. I departed not, and left him there.
Give me the letter. I will look on it. Where is the county's page? The one that raised the watch? Sirrah, what made your master in this place?
My master came with flowers to strew his lady's grave, and bid me stand aloof, and so I did. Anon comes one with light to ope the tomb, and by my master drew on him, and then I ran away to call the watch.
This letter doth make good the friar's words, their course of love, the tidings of her death, and here he writes that he did buy a poison of a poor apothecary, and therewithal came to this vault to die, and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to destroy your joys with love, and I, with drinking, discords you?
Brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand.
For I can give thee more, for I will raise her statue in pure gold, that while all Verona by thy name be known, there shall no figure at such rate be set, as that of true and faithful Juliet.
As rich shall Romeo by his lady lie, poor sacrifices of our enmity.
A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show its head. Go hence and talk about these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, and some punished. For never was the story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.